Hey friends, and welcome back to our channel. We are so glad to have you here today. Today we are going to start seeds for our upcoming garden. As we go through and start seeds, I will be talking to you and let you know what part of the plants can be used to feed rabbits or not. If you're new around here, this may seem a little odd to you, but if you are familiar with our channel, it makes perfect sense. On our homestead here in South Carolina, we raise rabbits for meat. It is a fantastic meat source for our family, and we love to share that knowledge with y'all. Now, what's special about our homestead and our rabbits is that we don't feed them a complete rabbit pellet. So like the rabbit pellets you get at a feed store. Instead, we try to feed them off things we grow in our garden, different herbs, things we forage for, find in the woods, grow for them, like grasses and stuff. We buy hay, we buy things like oats and sunflower seeds to help supplement, things like that. But it's a whole foods diet, and we share that knowledge with y'all so that you can be more sustainable in your feed practices with your rabbits. So as we go to start our garden, we always look at what we can grow for ourselves, but what we can also use from that plant to feed our rabbit. And you would be surprised at how many things you grow in your garden that you can use to supplement your rabbit's diet. Now, we are a little bit behind the game here. It is the beginning of March and we are in South Carolina, so most people already have their seeds started. We do have this little greenhouse behind us. I have a video where we purchased this off Amazon and put it together if you're interested in getting yourself a little bitty temporary greenhouse. I think it's like 4x8 or something like that. Right now our low temperatures are averaging the high 40s, low 50s, and in the greenhouse we're staying about 60 as our low. We'll check the thermometer in a minute and see what it's recorded as our lowest temperature in the greenhouse for the past 24 hours. Our garden is back behind our shed house that we are currently building. If you have not seen the videos on that, it's still a work in progress, but it's coming together. So let's check our temperature in our greenhouse and then we'll show you what we're planting and get started planting our seeds. I will try to remember to link the video for where we did the greenhouse down below. This greenhouse is originally, I think, listed on Amazon at like $89, but it has a $20 off coupon right now, so I got it for $69. Oh, thank you, love. So currently, this thermometer here, it tells us our humidity up top and our temperature down below, and it says our temperature is staying at 70 degrees. So it's staying a constant 70 degrees for the past 24 hours. It's got 70 as my high and 70 as my low. Perfect for starting seeds, especially my tomatoes and peppers. All right, bud, thanks for that. Can you go put it up? Now, in the greenhouse, I already do have sweet potatoes going for sweet potato slips. Those have been in there for about 2 weeks already. So we should have sweet potato slips in time for planting. Here on our homestead, we generally don't plant in the ground until after April 1st because we tend to get a late frost. We are currently in fall spring right now, so it's nice and warm, but we tend to have a late frost that comes through, and if you've already got planted in the garden, it often demolishes things. Here lately, it's been killing off fruit trees and things for the past few years, so that's why I don't plant in the ground yet, and while I try to start my seeds a little later. We're starting in these seed trays. I picked these up at Dollar General last year at the end of garden season for 50 cents a tray, and so it is a kind of flimsy plastic. I doubt I will get more than one garden season out of these, especially since my little helper back here tends to take them after we're done starting seeds in them and use them to play or build or to catch roly-polies and stuff and put in them for like a little habitat, things like that. They don't last long. But for 50 cents to get a seed tray with starter already in it, I mean, I couldn't pass it up. So I got 3 of these trays. So while we wait on that to soak up, we can go ahead and plant this crimson clover grass seed. I got this from American Meadows Seed, and it's a whole pound of crimson clover grass seed. Clover is great for rabbits in a varied diet, so you don't want to feed them only clover or it will actually make them sick, but when you mix it in with other foods and give it a few times a week instead of every day, that's a great option for them. I also have a small pack of white clover. I've seen this on MyGardener and I just picked it up on off chance. I think it was on sale and was like 50 cents a pack or something like that. So I just went ahead and picked one up to mix it in, have a little bit of variety in our clover. These will just be spread like grass seed across our yard, and Declan loves to use the grass seed spreader, so that will be a task for him. For lettuce, I'm going to be starting this butter crunch lettuce. We don't eat a ton of lettuce here. I eat a very meat-based diet, But I will be trying to grow this basically just in my greenhouse and outside. I'm not really going to put it in my garden. What we don't eat will all be able to be fed to the rabbits, and that's the primary reason I'm growing it, just because we don't eat a whole lot of lettuce here in our family. But I have these lettuce seeds and our rabbits love it. Ground cherries, if you have never grown them, I highly recommend it. These are Declan's favorite thing to grow in the entire garden, and mine also as a parent, because these ground cherries, I'm not going to can them or preserve them in any way. So they are what we call a garden snack. They are grown specifically for you to go out to the garden, pick something fresh and eat. However, what makes these special is they have a skin on them. That skin protects them from dirt and debris, so I know he's getting a clean snack without like bird poop or anything on it. I don't have to worry about them being washed. But also this skin turns yellow when they're ripe, and they basically fall off the plant when they're ripe. So he knows easily when they're ready to be picked. If they're green, they're not safe to be picked, and when they're yellow, they are. The more yellow they are, the better they taste. I have tried to save seeds in the past and it did not work. I'm going to try this year to save my own seeds again, but I will always have a few packs of these on hand just in case mine don't grow, because I will not have a garden without these if I can help it, just because I really love the fact that ground cherries encourage Declan to get in the garden, get his hands dirty, and eat fresh food right off the plant. For ground cherries, not a single bit of this plant will be fed to our rabbits. For pumpkins, we are going to be growing these small sugar pumpkins. I love pumpkin pie. It's a favorite in our family. And I don't seem to have very good luck in getting pumpkins to grow here on our property. So for the first time ever, I'm going to try to start these seeds ahead of time and see if I can give my pumpkins a leg up when it's time to be planted in the garden. I don't know what it is about pumpkins that I can't get them to grow well. I try and try, but for some reason, pumpkins just do not do it around here. So I'm hoping starting these as a seed will do the job. All of the pumpkin seeds that come from these pumpkins, we will try to save some for next year, but what we scoop out will primarily go to feed our rabbits. Pumpkin seeds are a great natural dewormer, and I always save that for our rabbits. The rind of the pumpkin that we don't use goes to either rabbits or chickens. The greens off of the plant, the vines and stuff like that, every bit of that will go to our rabbits as well. If we have too much, then we'll give some to our chickens or our goats. But the vines of the pumpkin plants, vines of squash plants are all safe to feed to your rabbits. Now we are going to be starting a few different types of peppers this year. I'm doing jalapenos, which are not spicy, jalapenos. Okay. We'll plant these next. These are jalapenos.
Naughty penos.
No, not naughty penos, jalapenos. It means they're not spicy. They look like jalapenos, but they're not spicy. So they're jalapenos.
They're naughty penos.
Not naughty, they're nada. Say nada.
Nada.
There you go, jalapenos.
Naughty penos.
No, they're not naughty. They're not being bad. They're jalapenos.
The next ones will be these.
I think these may always now be known as naughty penos.
Naughty penos. What is naughty penos? I can't buy them. I can't buy them.
Habanadas, which are not spicy habaneros. Alright, habanadas.
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 Uh-oh. What?
I only got 2 habanada seeds.
Oh.
Well, that ain't gonna do us no good. Just pick one.
Oh.
I don't know if we'll get any plants out of that deal.
No.
I don't know where the rest of my habanada seeds went. Jalapenos, which are a spicy pepper. These are early jalapenos, so they produce faster. I try to cut a lot of our not spicy with some spicy for things like pepper jam. or pepper jelly, whatever you want to call it. That way it is absolutely delicious, and it's safe if Declan wants to try some. He's not a spicy fan, but he does love peppers. So snacking peppers out of the garden that aren't spicy, I like to grow some that he can have, and then a spicy one to go with our pepper jelly. And then this year I'm also trying a golden California Wonder Pepper from M.I. Gardener. I bought several more pepper seeds, and honestly at the moment I can't find them. So when I find them, I will be planting several more bell peppers, starting them as well. I just can't find them at the moment. As far as peppers go, the pepper leaves you can feed to your rabbits sparingly. They are a nightshade, so they have a little bit of solanine in it. But you can feed them, especially the fresh pepper leaves for new starts and things like that. If you're trimming them up, you can give 1 or 2 here or there. It's not going to hurt them. Just don't overdo it. With most things with rabbits, a little bit's okay. A lot can be toxic. But the pepper itself, especially the sweet peppers, like bell peppers, if you do slices of them, that is a perfect treat for a rabbit. They love to snack on them. It's not overly sweet, so it's not going to upset their digestive system, but it's sweet enough that they think it's a treat. So that is usually what I do for treats for our rabbits, is like when I'm slicing bell peppers, the tops of them, I will save those and feed them to the rabbits or something like that. So that is a great option for peppers, is to save them. Now, rabbits, unlike chickens, do taste spicy. So don't feed them any kind of spicy pepper, because they can taste that spicy and they're not going to like it. But sweet peppers are okay. On the other hand, chickens do not taste spicy. So you can feed them spicy peppers if you have leftover spicy peppers, and that's okay for them. For cucumbers this year, I'm starting 2 times. I have the spring burpless cucumber. I really like these. These are kind of like the English cucumbers. So they're long and skinny, and I just love the flavor of them. So we're doing that one. And then Space Master cucumbers. These things grow prolifically here. I bought these at a mom and pop feed shop in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And I've had these for a while, but they are my favorites to grow in the garden. So this year I'm going to try and save some back so that I have them for future plantings. But for cucumbers, the entire plant can be fed to your rabbits. The vines, the leaves, and the cucumber themselves can all be fed. Cucumber is another great treat, especially on a hot summer day. If you have a cool cucumber, it's a great treat for your rabbits to help them cool down some. Now for beans, I am going to be starting the stringless green beans. That's just a garden variety, everyday, normal type green bean. I buy in bulk at Tractor Supply. I can also get the same ones at my mom and pop feed store. I just haven't been out that way. But it's just a bulk package of them. It's fairly cheap, easy to grow. And then I happen to still have some rattlesnake beans from M.I. Gardener. And so I'm going to go ahead and start these as well. I will be starting these and then transplanting the starts into my garden in a few weeks. These are some of the things, along with my cucumbers, that just do not do so good when it gets hot out. So if I can give these a head start, I will get more of a production. So that's why I'm starting these ahead. Green beans, you can feed them to your rabbits when they're young, when they're small and the bean in them is not very well produced. Once they grow big and the bean in them is well produced, you do not want to feed them to your rabbits because it will cause gas, which can cause bloat. The vines and the leaves of the green beans, you can absolutely feed to your rabbits, and that's great protein. The only part of the bean plant you do not want to feed to your rabbit is the actual beans within the green beans. So if you buy something like shelling peas and stuff like that, you can take the pea out and save that for yourself and feed the shells to your rabbits. You just don't want to feed that pea or that bean to your rabbits because it will produce gas and make them bloat. But the leaves and the vines are a great option. So when I rip out my garden, or when these are done producing, that's what I always do, is I rip out all the vines and give them to my rabbits, and they love them. For tomatoes, last year I grew Better Boy tomatoes, and so those I saved a ton of seeds from, and that's what we're going to start this year. They did so well in my garden, and I love them. I made sauce out of them and everything, and they just did perfect. So I saved my seeds. These were only tomatoes I grew last year, so I have the seeds should be true, and then we're going to plant these this year. I also have a package of Brandywine tomatoes. I have started these before, and they did not grow in my garden. I'm just trying to go through and use up some of my half seed packs this year, and this is one of them that I have just a few in here, so I'm going to get those started as well and see how they do this year. For tomatoes, you don't want to feed the plants or the leaves to your rabbits. That's got that solanine in it, and it's got a higher concentration than pepper plants do, so avoid tomato leaves and tomato vines for your rabbits. The tomato itself, you actually can feed them slices of the tomato. The tomato is actually considered a fruit, and it's okay to feed your rabbit slices of tomatoes. I have never tried, so I don't know how your rabbits will like slices of tomatoes as a treat or not, but go ahead and give it a try and let me know what you think. If they do like it, then that's great. If you've got extra tomatoes, that's a great way to go about supplementing your rabbit's diet. Like other fruits, tomatoes do have nutrients in them, and so all you're going to do is boost your rabbit's diet if they will eat those. I suggest starting out with a small slice and working your way up. I would never give them a whole tomato to theirself because that just seems like way too much for a little rabbit. Remember, their stomachs are small, and you never want to give them a large amount of something new, or else you can cause enteritis or bloat in those rabbits, and that can be deadly. So always start with small slices and test it out, and give it more often if they do okay with it, give it less often if they don't, things like that. But just take it step by step with your rabbits, but you can always give a tomato slice a try. Now, my favorite thing to feed to our rabbits is always going to be herbs. Herbs are fantastic for rabbits, and they have a lot of medicinal benefits that can be used for your rabbits. If you're looking into this, my books, Feeding Meat Rabbits for Free and The Homesteader's Guide to Raising Rabbits, both have things in there about treating your rabbits naturally with herbs. And The Homesteader's Guide to Raising Rabbits, it's in the medical knowledge section where it's looking over different ways to treat your rabbits. In the Feeding Meat Rabbits for Free book, I have scattered that information throughout the book in where, like, if you pull up cilantro, it'll tell you about cilantro, and then if it's got any medicinal usage, it will tell you that. But also in the back of the book, it kind of gives you a breakdown of different medical conditions you may experience with your rabbit and what herbs can be used to treat those. For more in-depth medical knowledge, the Homesteader's Guide to Raising Rabbits really gets that down and covered. And then the Feeding Meat Rabbits for Free really just breaks down food options and 125 different things you can feed to your rabbits and what benefits they have for your rabbits. So that's always a great thing. If you're looking for book knowledge to really expand how you're raising your rabbits, those are some places I highly recommend you to check out. Not only because I wrote them, but because they have the knowledge in them that I was looking for when I started raising rabbits that I couldn't find anywhere. And so as I learned it, I just compiled it into a document and used that to write a book to help others. So for herbs this year, I am doing slow bolt cilantro. In our heat, cilantro does not do very well at all, and it bolts very fast. So slow bolt cilantro gives me a better option of getting cilantro into more of the summer months. I love cilantro. I am a lover of it. Do you love cilantro or do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Cilantro is a great option to feed your rabbits, so definitely grow some cilantro for your rabbits. Parsley is another great option to feed your rabbits, plus to cook with. Hello, it's got great medicinal benefits, and I recommend also feeding that to your rabbits. Dill is one I have not grown before. This comes as I think a freed seed packet or something like that, but it is able to be fed to rabbits as well. So we will try it. If I don't like to use it fresh for pickles and things like that, it will just go straight to our rabbits. So even if I don't like it, it's not going to be wasted. It has a purpose here on our homestead. Sage, this is cooking sage, just a normal cooking sage. Common sage is what it's called. You can feed it to your rabbits, of course, and you can cook with it, so it is a great herb for us to have around. Oregano, this is the Greek oregano. This has smaller leaves than normal oregano, but it has a wonderful, strong flavor. So it is great for cooking. You can dry it and use it. It is also great for feeding your rabbits. I know a lot of people have heard of catnip tea. And we do have cats around here, so I'm sure they will be all over the catnip. This will be planted in its own little planter away from everything else. But you can also feed catnip to your rabbits. We may use this in tea form. Mainly it is going to be grown for our cats and our rabbits just because I have it. We picked this up at Lowe's one year just as, you know, a fun thing to grow for our cats. So I'm going to go ahead and plant some of that this year as well.
Get up.
Can I have some bullets?
Oh, I got 2.
Aww.
You gonna take my last 2?
You can still have one.
I can still have 1.
I like that. You can still have one.
I'll take 1 then.
Okay.
I hope y'all like my cardboard dividers in here. I do not recommend doing these in anything you actually need to keep separated because they disintegrate within a few weeks. But they work for my herbs, so I've got my herbs started. And if you're wondering about the background noise, Declan and Kenneth are playing Nerf guns, so sorry. Run for your life? You're supposed to turn and shoot, dude. What you running for? Do you not have any bullets? Is that why you're not shooting?
You better have some bullets.
I don't think so.
He's got them all, Mama.
Yeah!
Bullets are you shooting? Get your bullets back, hurry! He's gonna get you.
Yeah.
Now there are other things that I will be starting along the way. This is just my first bunch of seed starting and I wanted to bring you along for that. Make sure you stay tuned throughout the year for garden videos to see what we're growing and how things are growing for us here on our homestead. I love doing walkthroughs of my garden and sharing those with y'all to show y'all how things are growing, what we're having issues with, what we've done right and what we've done wrong, because every year for me, gardening is a learning experience. I never quite know what I'm doing. I just kind of jump in with both feet and hope that things grow. Sometimes that don't work very well. Other times it works great. So we'll have to see how this year goes for us. I love having y'all around, so I look forward to sharing those videos with y'all in the future. If you haven't already done it, make sure you subscribe to our channel to get updated when those videos are published. Until next time, friends, bye. I will see you later.